The reality is that the world is not sharing the burden of refugees. It is right now in the lap of Jordan, Lebanon, Turkey, and a couple of other countries. And Europe, the United States, and other countries that could be sharing part of that burden, the Gulf states, are not. We're essentially an international mobile legal clinic. We bring teams of lawyers and doctors and psychologists into the field, identify high-risk refugee or internally displaced person cases, and try and identify pathways to protection for them so that they have a safe place to begin their lives. Our cases tend to be the highest risk cases, people who are really at risk of not surviving if they don't have some protection. There he is. Oh. It almost knocked me down. Oh. Oh, hi, beautiful. Did you know that today is Mother's Day?
تعرف إنه اليوم عيد الأم؟
No? Oh, happy Mother's Day, darling.
الله يسلمك.
Now, the last time I met with you, there were some weird things going on with your medication, and you weren't feeling very well.
Yeah, now he's taking the medication, everything's going well.
It's working better for you now?
هلا أحسن الوضع؟ Yeah, a little bit better.
You look a lot better than the last time I saw you. You look more peaceful.
هو احنا نكيف يعني من ليلة ما تجي جين معنا من البارحة من خابرتين نضلين للصبح قاعدين لنا ليلتين ما ننام.
They don't sleep whenever they hear that you're here.
Yusuf is a client that we've had for about a year and a half. He is a victim of torture. He is from Iraq. He was kidnapped and held in captivity for a couple of weeks, and he was very, very badly tortured, and as a result has very difficult injuries. He has what's called fistula, which is related to a form of torture that he was subjected to. He also, we think, has traumatic brain injury as a result of being hit in the head multiple times, which has a huge impact on memory and the ability to articulate a story. So Yusuf, have you had any more contacts from UNHCR?
هم حاولوا على حالة نفسية فحصوني كلش ضربوا ملابسي بس أنا قلت له عيب وما أدري شنو قالت لا عادي عادي نزلت ملابسي كلش استحيت من عندها فحصتني ما أدري شنو صورة جواز.
Did UNHCR tell you what country they're sending this information to?
دكتور لمن فحصني بالحالة النفسية قال لأمي طبقت الحمام تكرمين قال لأمي استراليا أنا ما أعرف وين وجهوني ما أدري استراليا كندا أمريكا ما أدري.
So remember, the United States denied your case, and so you can't go to the United States. He was referred for resettlement to the United States. He had a 10-hour interview with United States officials, and he was denied protection because they said there were gaps in his story. They couldn't comprehend his story. There was no timeline in his story. And this is all related to his mental health pathology. He cannot articulate his story in a coherent way. And then it was referred to Australia, and they're the ones that did the medical exam for you. His mother is with him as well. It's a very codependent relationship. She cannot survive without him, and he cannot survive without her. And how are you feeling about the fact that they were talking about maybe Australia?
Where would she go?
Remember a long time ago when we were talking to UNHCR and they said maybe they would refer your case for Australia? And that must be why they put Yusuf on the Australia path, because remember we said we wanted you to stay together.
رحت للهجرة بعدين قالوا لا رجع عليك قالوا أنت عندك سفر تلبس حفاضة قلت لي نعم وما أخرج على نفسي ما أدري سجلت هي بس صمت تزوج فرحت يعني صار عندي فرحة كبيرة كل ساعة ما أخاف على نفسي يعني أقول مرض لا عندي مرض مزعج أسوأ عمليتي يعني ما تأخر عمليتي. I know. But now we have to make sure, Kadma, that your case is connected so that you don't get scared and left alone.
تحكي ما تقلقي إحنا رح نحكي معاهم.
Okay.
وجين ما قصرت.
I don't know. I don't have any idea how long it will take, or even if there's a guarantee that you will go. So it sounds like right now, Australia is reviewing your case and considering it, but we don't know what the answer will be, and we don't know when you could go if you're approved. I think they recognize now that it's very urgent, and so hopefully they'll resolve things soon. Okay, go safe. Go safely.
Bye, Yusuf.
I say that getting refugee resettlement is a bit like winning the lottery. It just almost never happens. It can take 3 to 4 years for a person to go through the process. It's extremely complicated, and 99% of refugees are never resettled. We don't focus only on refugee resettlement. If that were the only option that we thought was a viable option, we probably wouldn't be in Jordan. It would be creating false hope for refugees to come here and say, I'm going to help you with your refugee resettlement case. That would be delusional thinking that 50 of our clients would be able to get onto that pathway. But 50 of our clients deserve protection. And so then our mission, which is actually quite creative, is to identify individual resolution for each individual case based on those facts. So if we have a medical evacuation case, it may not be on a resettlement pathway, but we'll identify a hospital and a team of experts and a country willing to be a host country for that person, sponsors who are willing to support the person. It becomes an effort at community engagement to support refugees, which actually is the way it should be. Do you remember this case? 15-year-old son torture victim?
Yes, but the father also
Yeah,
was a torture victim.
I have the father, the son, and the wife.
Yeah.
So this is a new case. It's Iraqi. He has 4 children. All of them are brain damaged. There's a Yemeni case. It's a single mother. Her son has epilepsy and is quadriplegic.
And he's quadriplegic?
Yeah. You'll do the one that has the relative in Egypt right now, and then I think we should give you, it's a torture case. 20-year-old Sudanese torture victim. It's an Iraqi family with 4 children, and their 5-year-old has double kidney failure. You're seeing someone...
This isn't just tomorrow's list, right?
You're seeing all 15 of these tomorrow.
You often hear it said, the reason you went to law school oftentimes, isn't very well reflected in what you wind up doing as a lawyer.
Why did you go to law school?
Well, the variety of reasons that most of us do. I think wanting to contribute something positive, to society. Lawyers overall were treated pretty well within society, and I think because of that, we really have an extra obligation to give back. I love that family because it's just a very cohesive family. You can tell there's a lot of affection. Math professor, father, Arabic literature, educated mother. We're focused for the moment on trying to see whether we can get them onto the track to be resettled in Canada.
I can explain what's happened since the last time I was here. We have been in touch with the Canadian resettlement officials and have given them information about your case, and we are hopeful that they are going to accept it. There is always a chance. We can't say exactly what a government will do. When the policy was changed in the United States, Canada offered to take some of the cases where we had family members with medical issues. So we have some reason for optimism, but it's always difficult to say how long any government will take to make a decision. We will let the Canadian officials know that and try to move this case as fast as we can.
The son, who is 14, is essentially blind. His younger sister has more sight than he does, but is also clearly not able to function tremendously well without an awful lot of assistance. The nature of their affliction is such that if they could get to a place that has sophisticated medical care for vision, they might be able to actually get surgery that would help them to retain at least some of their sight.
الندبة الأخيرة اللي عند حمزة أخذته على دكتور قال له حتى هون لو عملنا عملية ما راح تنجح معنا. يعني عطى هو قرار إنه بعد فترة هذا راح يتوسع العين وبالتالي يغطي كل العين.
رحنا كثير على منظمات واجينا مشان يدعمونا يعني للأولاد علاج عمليات كذا ما استفدنا. يعني أهم شيء عندي أنا علاج حمزة وجنان. بديش إشي من الدنيا بس علاجهم.
And how is school for these guys?
أحكي اشتكي عني.
لا عندي والله شكوات.
عملوا اخوتهم دورة، هذول الاثنين ما قبلوهم مش ليش بسبب وضعهم، يعني بدهم مدرس خاص، قلنا لهم هذول سماعيين، خليهم يحضروا بس يسمعوا، ما كانوا يخلوهم. أو مثل هاي البنت كل رفقاتهم بالهذا بيروحوا بياخذوا جلسات علاج نفسي أو جلسات ترفيهية أو جلسات بالمنظمات، والمنظمات بترفض هذول الاثنين. ليش؟ لأنه بسبب الوضع الخاص تبعهم.
حتى حمزة قرر بقول لنا نروح، خلينا نروح. مستقبل ما فيش إنه هو مستقبل نهائيا معدوم.
يعني احنا من اوائل الناس اللي سجلوا في المفوضية شهر 12 2011 يعني كان حتى
ممكن ملفنا اول ملف
يمكن احنا من الاوائل
بس احنا بنحكي انه ملفنا اول ملف فوقيه ملفات يعني يا ما بلحقوا مشان هيك مش رانين علينا.
صعب ينسحب. يا الله.
There are no guarantees, but at this moment I think we're optimistic. To be involved in this work, you have to be an optimist. Until we get an outright denial, we try to be optimistic and help other people to be optimistic and to be as patient as they can. As they've indicated, they've been waiting 6 years. Their children are growing up, and I'm sure there's a real feeling that their future is just slipping away.
We know our clients well. We have 50 cases, and every time we come to Jordan, we see those individuals. Some lawyers go into a case and the avenue they take is legal, strictly legal. What's the legal theory? What's the legal framework? What's the analysis? What's the resolution? That's a typical legal strategy, right? I go into a case from the other direction. I go into a case with what's happening with the mental health pathology of this individual. I'm not a mental health expert, I'm not a psychologist, but I have worked with refugees for 16 years and I've interviewed thousands of refugees. And so there's a way that you can begin to just look at a person and understand that you have to do an interview differently. You can't just dive into, do you meet the refugee definition and were you persecuted? Because it could be very harmful to a refugee.
Here in Jordan, there is no sense of ever being able to start a normal life. You're just sort of stuck in this place that is nothing like how your regular life was. You are completely in limbo. You don't know what your future is going to be. You don't know what country you might wind up in. You don't even know if you will wind up in another country.
هاي أنا وهاي أختي. هاي أنا وأختي لما كنا صغار، وهاي أمي وهاي أبوي.
وين بزونا صيحة تصور؟ صيحة. عوف عوف عوف.
خليها تحمل، خليها تحمل. أكيد ما نشوف بيها. نشوف بيها بس نضربها.
كيف الأولاد مدرسة؟
الحمد لله دارجة.
كويسين؟ كيف مدرسة؟
الحمد لله.
حلو، أي صف صرتوا هلا أنتم؟
رابع.
صرتوا بصف رابع؟ أي صف صرتوا؟
ثالث.
ثالث؟
هم كانوا يعني تقريبا منعوا من المدرسة لأنهم كان لازم إنه يدفعون الاشتراك 40 دينار بالسنة كل وحدة والكتب والهاي، فقعدتهم وسمعت سجين هذا الشيء فدفعت لهم المصاري الحمد لله وقاموا يداومون لهم يعني بطلوا يداومون.
طيب وأنت كيفك؟
يعني أنت تقولين أكو أمل، يعني هو ماكو شيء ما له نهاية ست ديانة، يعني هو حتى العمر اللي منطيك إياه الله سبحانه وتعالى له نهاية، فمستحيل الأمل تقولين ما له نهاية، هم له نهاية. أنت هسه لقيتش الأمل عندك فول، زين احكي لي حالتي هسه أنا إذا رفضت من أستراليا شو أسوي؟ اعطيني جواب ما تعرفين شو تسوي. لحتى توطني مثلا خلينا نقول على امريكا من يشوف استراليا رفضتك هي ترفضك، كندا من يشوف استراليا رفضتك هي ترفضك، زين وين نروح؟ هذا القلق، هذا اللي موتنا قلق. لا مثل الشحات يعني عمل ممنوعه، وظيفه ممنوعه، كل شيء ممنوع ممنوع ممنوع. يعني احنا بس نطلب من عندهم انه ينظرون بعين العطف لذول الاطفال، ما نريدهم يعيشون نفس العيشه مال الكره والمعاناه والتدمير والقتل فما اريد ارجعهم انه وياي انه وياهم نفس الشيء وهم يتاذون وهم ينقتلون. لا، 3 سنين هذا املنا الاخير، يعني تحملنا فيما فيه الكفايه، كافي يعني هم الي مستوى طاقه وتخلص.
وبعيد عن هذا الاشي كله شو حلمك؟
حلمي انه هذول يكونوا بسلام وما يحتاجون شيء، ولا حلمي يعني ذولي لا اكثر ولا اقل. اتمنى هي هاي الابتسامه تبقى وما تنزع من وجوه.
ممكن ياخذوا منا كل شيء بس ما بيقدروش ياخذوا منا الابتسامه الحلوه والامل.
اهم شيء الامل.
اهم شيء الامل.
When we take a case into our project, so the 50 cases we have, what I say to the client is, we will help you until you're self-supporting. We will help you until you're on your feet and able to take care of yourself. And that could be 10 years, it could be 20 years, it could be a life. And every time I say that, I think to myself, oh my gosh, what are you getting yourself into? And then I say, but the world is good and people will help. We just have to ask them. Usually get concrete information on cases when we have these meetings. And then just thinking conceptually what's going on with resettlement numbers, because I think almost their entire operation is predicated on resettlement of cases to the United States. Jordan resettles more cases to the United States than either Lebanon or Turkey. And so if that tap is cut off, there's no place for cases from here to go. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
You met two clients who thought they were on the path to Australia, Kama and Yusuf. We heard very clearly from Yusuf that he thought that he was leaving for Australia within a matter of days, if not weeks. And we were able to make an inquiry about those two cases, first to make sure that the cases are joined, which they are. And so they both have been interviewed by UNHCR and pre-screened and approved for referral to Australia. But what we learned today is that Australia's quota is full. And so until there's a new quota, they're not going anywhere. He obviously needs surgery and it's quite urgent. And they're just stuck here. Yeah. It means that we have to implement other protection measures for them, including continuing to provide safe housing, trying to identify, basically triage medical care for him so that he stays alive while people explore other resettlement possibilities for him. And also so that we can have a conversation with them and adjust their expectations of what's going to happen. And that has to be done very carefully, because when people think they're going somewhere and then they realize they're not, it can have very grave mental health consequences. You know, we've had that case for almost 2 years, and it's a case that will follow for as long as he needs protection, and he may die in Jordan if he doesn't get protection. Obviously, the problem is a huge crisis. 20 million refugees in the world, and all the countries have said our doors are closed. And if we don't find alternative pathways, many people will die.